Welcome. Let's talk about one of the trickiest parts of English, right? Those tiny little words at, on, and in, especially when we're talking about time. If you've ever felt just a little bit confused, you are definitely in the right place. And by the end of this, I promise you're going to have a simple system to get it right every single time. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's jump right in with a little pop quiz. Let's meet blank the morning. So what do you think goes in that blank? Is it at, on, or in? Now, if you hesitated for even a second, you're not alone. The correct answer is in. And you might be thinking, why? Well, I promise there's a really clear pattern here, and we're about to unlock it together.
You see, the secret isn't about memorizing dozens and dozens of random rules. It's about using one simple mental model. I want you to picture a pyramid. At the very wide bottom, we have these huge general chunks of time. And as we move up towards that sharp little point, time gets more and more specific. This pyramid, this is going to be our guide. So, let's start at the base of that pyramid with the big picture stuff. This is where we use the preposition in. Think of in as being for the largest, most general blocks of time you can think of. The main idea to hang on to here is just this. In is for long periods of time. We're talking about the big stuff on a calendar, the kind of thing that isn't just a single point, but a whole span of time. And you can see just how broad this long periods rule is. We use in for centuries, right? Like in the 18th century, for decades, in the 70s, for specific years like in 1997, and it goes all the way down to seasons in summer and even months in August. You see the pattern, right? They're all like big containers that hold a lot of time. Okay, now in has one, let's call it a special case. It kind of seems to break that long period rule, but it's super consistent. We also use it for specific parts of the day. So even though they're not centuries long, we always say in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. Just go ahead and lock those three phrases into your brain. This little detail is absolutely key, and you're going to see why in just a minute. All right, we're moving up our pyramid now, and things are getting a little more specific. This is where on comes into play. We use on when we stop talking about those big chunks of time and start talking about specific days and dates. And the rule for this is beautifully simple. If you can point to it on a calendar as a single day or a single date, you're going to use on. So for example, we'd say on Sundays for a day of the week, or get a bit more specific like on Saturday night. We use it for dates like on August 3rd, and for special named days like on my birthday or on Christmas Day. The simple test, if you can call it a day, the preposition is on. Simple as that. All right, we have reached the very top of our pyramid, the sharpest, most focused point, and this is where we find at. At is our preposition for pinpoint accuracy, for the most precise moments in time. So just remember, when you're talking about an exact moment, I mean a specific time on the clock or a really clearly defined point in the day, you need at. This totally applies to clock times, like at 3:30, but it also works for moments that are tied to an activity, like at dinner time, and for those specific points that mark a change, like at midnight or at the beginning. Okay, so remember a minute ago when I told you to lock in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening? Well, here is the big payoff. This is probably the most important exception in this whole system. We do not say in the night. We always say at night. So you see that switch? It's in for most parts of the day, but it flips to AT for night. This is the one little rebel you just have to remember. All right, you've got the system. In for big periods, on for specific days and dates, and A for those precise, pinpointed times. So let's put that pyramid model to the test with just a few quick questions. You ready?
First one up. Fashion was great, blank, the 70s. Which preposition feels right here? Think about the size of that time period.
It's got to be in the 70s. And why? Well, because a decade is a long period of time, right? That's our big picture rule, right from the base of the pyramid. Okay, next one. The moon comes out blank night. Think carefully. This is our big exception we just talked about. And the answer is at night. Yep, that's our special rule right there in action. It's not in the night, it's always at night. Excellent job if you remembered that one. All right, last one for our little test. My family gets together blank Christmas Day. What kind of time reference is Christmas Day? The answer is on Christmas Day. Why? Because Christmas is a specific named day on the calendar, and that's our on rule. Fantastic job! So, to wrap this all up, here is the entire system in one handy little cheat sheet. We use in for those long periods like years and months. We use on for specific days and dates. And we use at for precise times like 7 o'clock or lunchtime. And of course, we never forget our one big exception, at night. That simple pyramid model really does make it a lot clearer, doesn't it? And there you have it. You now have a really powerful but simple system for these super tricky little words. So my final question for you is this. Where are you going to notice this rule in action first? Is it going to be in an email you're writing, a movie you're watching, or maybe the very next time you speak? Keep an ear out for it. Thanks so much for watching.